Hello everyone, Luca Fiore here once again to talk about how Schertler impacted my musician's life in a positive way. You may be wondering why now? Well, my new single called Tangent, which you can hear playing in the background, was released a few days ago and the video is out now. It's a great opportunity to talk about my Schertler equipment, my relationship with Schertler, and you'll see why if you keep watching. Well, I knew Schertler already because I had been using some amps which were the previous versions of what's available now. And then when we met at the London Acoustic Show in 2015 and we talked about the pickup and the amp and the preamps they had at the time, so they became my first sponsor, and actually the sponsor I'm most proud of because being the first one, they showed that they believed in me, and I was very grateful and honored actually to have my very first sponsor as a musician. Of course, the equipment is great for both live situations and studio situations, and anytime that I had a question or an issue, they were very quick in responding. I had a direct line with them, so I always felt like I was part of the family in a way, especially when I went to meet the whole team in Mendrisio. It was a beautiful day. And also, I always felt they were striving to keep up to date and coming up with new products and new solutions to new problems. As a matter of fact, a couple of weeks ago, when I exchanged some emails with Thomas from the team, and we were discussing this video and the new releases, and he casually said, oh, we have this new launch of the DYNP48, which is a microphone, but specifically this time for koto, which for those who don't know, it's a Japanese traditional instrument. And I thought, yeah, way to go. Yes, I like that. I like the fact that they never stop. I mean, who doesn't love progress anyway? As far as the song is concerned, I used Schertler's magnetic pickup for acoustic guitars to write and later on to actually perform the song together with my beloved yellow blender, the Class A preamp that took me anywhere from small venues to TV shows. And if you don't believe my words, here's an old video, and forgive the low quality, of me as I first came up with the riff to the song. And here's another one of me performing a very primitive version of the song live for the first time in London. You can't really see the blender in the video, but it was always part of my pedal board, as you can see from this archive image. Half of those things I don't use anymore, but the yellow blender always stays strong. The song has been in the making for a while. Back in the day it was primarily an acoustic version of it, and now of course it's a full song, which brings me to the second way that I use my Schertler products, which is production. I use the yellow blender to record all the electric guitars and the Uno preamp to record the solo in the song. Glad you asked. If you're interested in knowing more about the Uno, you can watch a video that Schertler recently published. I take the time to explain more in depth how this beauty works and how I use it. For all the rest of my Schertler gear, I'm gonna let an older version of myself take the lead and explain in depth how I use it practically, and also why it's so important in my sound and what I like about it. I guess I'm gonna use the Magnetico to perform some magic, given that this is the closest thing that I have to a magic wooden wand. And abracadabra. And let's go. So surely the main thing would be the magnetic pickup, the Magnetico AG6. First of all, what I always liked about it is that it's very easy to install, you know. Generally, magnetic pickups, you need to bring them to the guitar tech. It's very easy to set up. You can take it away, you can put it in your pocket. For example, if you need to check in your guitar at the airport. I always liked the design of it also. I always chosen to go for the wooden one because I think it will look pretty cool with the body of the guitar in general. You can see that it's got a line out, which is this one, and then you got an external output also. That one you can use to connect the DYN AG which is a contact microphone that you would attach to the guitar either here or here. I did use it with my Yamaha, not on this guitar at the moment, but I put it here so that you'd be able to hear all the different percussive elements when you're playing percussive styles of modern acoustic guitar. So that's pretty cool, and then you got a little volume there to control it. But just as it is already, it's a way to not having to use your piezo necessarily. You can blend them, actually that's what I used to do, and you can have a taste of it if you watch this video on YouTube.
I ain't got this far just to break down.
You can hear I'm actually using it to overdrive the sound of the guitar. What I also like about it is that it sounds pretty natural. This may or may not be a subliminal marketing piece, but here's another video where you can check it out. And finally, as a touring musician, what I also particularly liked about it is that because you can detach it and put it in your pocket and travel with it, and let's say again you have to check in your guitar at the airport, let's say the guitar doesn't arrive on time, they lose it, or something happens to the guitar, you need to change the guitar, but you cannot do all the operation necessary in order to use the magnetic pickup internally, we could say, because of course you need to have a different output, blah blah blah. What you can use is this, which is called, I believe, CAMX. I know that's called that, I'm not entirely sure if that's how you pronounce it. Doesn't need to pronounce it properly when you can use it. What this means is you can just install your magnetic pickup like that, like you normally do, like you saw me do before, onto any guitar. You just connect it, and then you can just plug in your magnetic pickup without needing any operation, any guitar tech, any expensive last minute procedure, I guess. You may want to put it on your strap or something, or you fix it somehow. If you're sitting, even easier, you can just let it hang, I guess. And there you go. This is your portable, usable on any guitar device and gimmick in order to make it through, and very, very helpful. Even if you don't use it, it's good to know that you can do that. Shush, I'm talking. Now, the other piece of equipment that I've been using is the yellow blender, which is essentially a preamp. I use it for both acoustic guitar and sometimes electric guitar as well. I really like the feature of the resonance cut. That means that if you're on stage and there's some feedback going on, instead of having to rely on the sound guy, with all due respect, and we would like to send our regards to the sound guys in the world, you can just find that frequency that's been annoying with that little knob, and just solve the problem instantly. It's been very useful. Very, very cool to know that you can do it and not having to panic on stage. I really like the fact that you have two channels, so I used it quite a lot when I was predominantly playing in London as a solo artist or as a duo, guitar and voice with other singers. It's kind of like having a little mixer with you, but way better, because of course this is a class A quality, and then the color is pretty amazing, I have to say. This light blue, this is even the older version I had at the very beginning in 2015, but the new ones look just as cool. And also, it's interesting the fact that you can split the signal out. You can have one balance cable going to the speaker, you can have another cable going straight into the audio interface. You can actually have a sort of a DI box with you if you need it. And you have 3 inputs. So sometimes I will use one input for the magnetic pickup sound, another input for the guitar sound, so whether I'm using a piezo or the native, we could say, system on the guitar. And then I use as you've seen in the video before, I'm using distortion, so I would do a line out into the distortion pedal, then the volume pedal, and then back in. So you can actually control that, the amount of grit, the amount of distortion that you want to have. I did take that from John Butler, he's doing the same thing. But it's pretty cool that it allows you to do that. You can just have 3 inputs and 3 instruments, possibly, and then just one output for the system, for the mixer, and whatever else. Now I'm gonna give a little demonstration of the pickup running through the yellow blender. And we're back. Thanks for watching, and thanks Schertler for this opportunity. I hope you found this video useful. Make sure you check out all of the other Schertler products on their website. And if you liked what you heard in the background, feel free to also check out my new song and new video out now. Until next time, take care. Havana Kedavra!